today to Angie for helping us out with the village hall, and Buster for giving us the marvellous carpet out there to play on. At least once. Yeah. So really, there was lots of good cricket in the sense of good events, good fun, and some outstanding banter. Not the least, my favourite of the season was being reported to me by my wife when we played Railway Taverners. Some guy walked out and went, "There are funnel out there, full of banter." I asked the skipper why he called Johnny Lager, and he just replied, "Because it's his name." It was, however, a tricky season with injuries. We lost OB1 early doors, and then I started listing the injuries, and it just went on and on. I mean, we all know it's a little bit delicate resource. Keeney, in and out, really. Ripper was lacking attention towards the end of the season, so had to feign some sort of wound. HPLC had the glandular fever, and Jerry, which should not be not mentioned for his one brief appearance. Jerry. Notwithstanding that, it was excellent to welcome some new caps, particularly Peter Foster, who I think was an amazing find for Randy found us on Google to become such a part of the serial killer club. And even put up with being called Mr. Sutcliffe by Phil Lowe. Developing players, next a real impact, but as skipper I have to note that I think Dr. Paul Newman should be mentioned as our most improved player of the 2010 series, not least showing that actually losing one was help.
Very good idea to replace him with a robot.
With bat and ball. The Pirate again was top of the wicket. Which just goes to show if you play all the games, something's got to go in your favour. But certainly pleased that talk of retirement has now been rescinded.
Quite right.
Batting highlights for me was a real pleasure actually in the Wytham shirt to witness centuries for Phil Lowe and Mr. Rawlins there. I've named him 50 for Dr. Coggins. And apologies for shouting a few times about speeding up and being less like Chris Tavray during that. But I have to say the batting highlight for me was Mr. Coplock 70 odd in the 2020. I can't remember who it was against, but it was a fantastic innings. It really came off. It was but it was only he bat like that more often. Fielding I thought came on. There were some outstanding catches. They were mostly mine. And there were some shocking drops. Some great new fixtures. Churchill was great fun. I think anywhere where they close the playground while we're batting is a good place.
And anywhere where you can't tell the difference between the strip and the outfit.
That was an advantage.
And Louis Theroux.
And Louis Theroux. And as mentioned, getting Blenheim here and then the away fixture was brilliant. And thanks to Phil, as highlighted with the game at the University Club was really quite a special event to go and play in the middle of town there. Throughout all that, my personal highlight of the game I think I enjoyed the most, controversially, might be the Wolvergate Festival game, which I know was a little bit stressful and a little bit full on and loads of hoorays up here we didn't necessarily want.
Somebody got hit.
Someone got hit, that was quite a highlight. I played quite well, that made a difference throughout the season. But it was just, when you look at Johnny's photos on Teamer, it was just like the classic evening of English cricket. It was just a really, really nice day.
Stuff going on.
Yeah, and picnic. One of all the catches.
Johnny's posted some photos on the internet.
It's 700 of them.
So, the new season has new challenges. We have to accept the fact that little, if anything, will be seen of Bob King this year. Bob's sort of, as far as Teamer resignations go, Bob has retired.
Nobody retires from this club, really.
Well, you say that, but
Nobody retires from this thing.
we don't know, and therefore we have to accept that we can't turn to the ever-reliable Bob King to tweak a few from one end. But, the signs in the season were good, so we'll adapt to that. Trev's in his usual off-season doubtful mode. I suspect waiting for one of us to say, please come and play, Trevor. But nonetheless, we may have to accept that time catches up even with the buck. I do think we need 5 to 8, between 5 and 8 fairly committed new recruits this season, in reality. Very often we did well, but we were a couple short, or one short, or we had 1 or 2 people. And actually, the Valley game at the University Club was fantastic. But I think we ended up with 9.
9 against 8.
With 9, and Bob was immobile.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it made a lot of difference, but
How can you tell?
we would have won that.
Yeah.
And if Dan hadn't dropped that catch off my bowler, so we definitely have won that. But we really could do with 5 or 6 people who would be available most of the time and happy to be, and then we would have 12 or 13 each week, which would just make the difference.
So we need to advertise.
We may well need to advertise, and my next point on my note is ideas.
Saga.
Good mark.
Saga magazine.
Okay, yeah.
Or the NCC
But perhaps we should.
Can you just put a little 6x4 card up in the wrong room?
Perhaps we should come back to that.
Is that
At the end of the night?
is that the end of the speech?
No.
Yeah.
Just turn
Can we just let him? Okay.
On the social side, great times with our continued legendary teas. Thank you, Leslie.
Surrey boys have never had a better tea, they were saying.
And also many indoor net sessions, which have obviously aided our right elbow lubrication. It was a pleasure for me. We had great response when it came down to Wytham fireworks barbecue and being asked at sort of short notice. I think it was a bit of a crisis.
Yeah, but I think you blanked a good response though by not actually telling us what was involved.
I don't care about that.
Until the
fact was that you know, once you really got involved and started panicking about it, it all got a bit more stressful. However, as it stands, the club did a really, really, really good job, and I think did ourselves loads of favours in terms of people feeling we read last year's minutes, and Chris said about wanting to be more involved and trying to help, and we kept saying, what can we do? At that point, Andrew gave me a call, said we need something, and we did it. Later in the meeting, we might want to consider, Andrew's already asked me if we'd be prepared to do it next year.
What's to ask Vicky then, won't we?
I think the club's in a good place. I think there's a lot of great support and great support. I think there's been many events this year when the club's pulled together and people within it have done so. I think quite a few of us through the year have had moments when we've been really glad to be members of the club together, and that's really good. The revival of the White Hart is without doubt a good thing, and we'll continue to work to not get barred. I'm really, really pleased, and thanks JP publicly for his work with fixtures and aligning that with car boot sales, and that sounds to me like it's going to be a really good thing and going to help us all. And if it's all right with the rest of you, it's in the wrong place to say it, but with the help of Tima and the support that's been there, it's been a delight to be skipper, and I'm very happy to continue in that post.
Hurrah.
In a Word document.
I've got it in scribble.